Hello, today I'm going to start doing some assembly on the 68 Chevelle. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff painted. I kind of figured, just painting probably is kind of boring. I mean, people may like it, that's fine. So, let me know what you think. If you want me to film myself painting, I can do it. I did do a couple things. So it's the first time I've done seat belts on a car. I think they turned out pretty good. I also did dash detail, and it's probably hard to see, but there's a set of keys in there in the dash. So like I said, it was my first time doing it, and to save the hours of cuss words on camera, I just went ahead and didn't film myself doing that. So the only thing I've really got to paint yet is I got to repaint the exhaust in some places. There were a couple of marks on it, so I've got to airbrush that stuff yet. So I'm just gonna set that out of the way. I also haven't done anything with the body yet. So other than I painted the underside, where the inside of the car is, I did do that. So what we're gonna do is start piecing some of this stuff together. So I'm gonna start with, try to move some of this stuff out of the way here. I'm gonna start with the frame. I did glue this piece in before I painted it. I painted this gloss black. Turned out really nice. And then the underside is a semi-gloss, and I painted the gas tank silver. I do need to paint the straps yet on it. Other than that, the interior is a light blue, so I went ahead and painted that too. Washer fluid jug, I painted white and then did like a transparent blue on the bottom half of it to represent washer fluid. I still got to paint the cap on that yet, so I'll get around to it. So let's see. First thing we're going to do is put in the steering gear. It is raining here today, stormy. So that's going to go like right there. And try to get some of this stuff cleaned up here. There's just like a little groove there where it sits. So what glue am I gonna use? I've got about 19 different glues. Not really. So they started carrying this Mr. Hobby cement at Hobby Lobby. So I got it and kind of tried it. I still like, Tamiya extra thin, but I do use this on occasion. I think it's pretty much the same thing. I don't like the brush in this as much. You can't get as fine a detail, and the smell is a little bit more potent. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just load some paint. I did notice that this stuff, if there's any paint in there, that it'll take it off of it, which is good. And that's kind of why I'm using this here, because it's a hard to reach place. So I'm using this to kind of clear the paint out so the plastic will stick better. I've already sanded this, but I can't really get down in there to get the paint off. So I'm just gonna try sticking this in here. Let's see what I can come up with. Toothpick here. Just kind of stains. I'm gonna let that set up for a little bit. It was kind of a little iffy. So the next step is actually putting the engine in. I did test fit it earlier. It fits really good. This kit, like all the pieces, seem to go together really, really nicely. So if you're thinking of doing, you know, just like a normal streetcar kit, this is an excellent kit to do. I highly recommend it. Especially if you're a Chevrolet guy. I will say I am pro GM. Not saying I won't build Fords. I have built Fords. I don't mind building Fords. I'm a Chevrolet guy. My dad worked at a Chevrolet dealership for almost all of his adult life, and it's just ingrained in me. So if you don't like it, tough shit. Everybody has their opinions, right? So what I'm gonna do while this is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing stuff into the interior. And I think I messed up on this piece. So there were two little tabs that came up, and they were supposed to go in these little grooves here. Somebody, me, got a little bit too excited, and I cut them off. Not a big deal. I'll just glue this piece to the basic carpet area there, and it'll be fine. I mean, they're pedals. They're going to be almost impossible to see anyway, so, but they just kind of go like right here. So glue that, sand a little bit of this down here, and most of, pretty much all of this I shot with an airbrush, other than the white blue was it was a rattle can. This Krylon Shortcuts turquoise. I think it turned out pretty good. It's about the color that I'm looking for. So, yeah, turned out pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna coat this down. Also, I made a basket handle shifter. It's a little bit off center, a little crooked. It was tough. It's just like really small material, trialing up. I mean, it's not bad, but I hate that it's not perfect. But sometimes that stuff is hard to do. And what I'm gonna do is, like, I'm gonna glue this in, and then I need to, actually, before I glue it in, I'm gonna paint the silver around the outside edge. of the console there, because it was that way. But first, I'm going to go ahead and glue the rear seat in. Now let's try to test fit stuff first. Just so you know that it's correct and right. So that fits really good right there. That's all clear. Where is this going to sit? Right in that groove. Okay. Just need extra thin on this. And that's the thing, I mean, it's your kit. You can do it however you want to. If you want to use this stuff, you can use that stuff. I have recently built a car with just using that. It still works. There's nothing wrong with using it. Like, the technology is pretty advanced on this stuff here. It's, you know, it works really, really good. But there's nothing wrong with using the old school orange tube either. So your dry times are going to be longer, you know, for everything you're gluing, but, you know, that's to be expected. All right, got that in there. So we'll put that aside, and then I'm going to get to painting this trim piece here on this. See what I can come up with. Also need to paint the turnstill lever there. Ooh. Alright, so that I'm out of. Okay. Didn't even realize I was out of that stuff. Alright, for this fine detail, I'm going to use toothpick. Toothpick does a really good job. Glad I decided to paint before I glued it in there, because it probably would have been a pain in the butt to do. Pretty good. I will say this, like I've had, just over the years, you know, people ask, or I've seen people ask about, you know, the directions, or what should I paint this, or what should I paint that, what color does this need to be. I'll just Google reference pictures and of the car that I'm trying to replicate, and I'll just kind of go from there. And sometimes I follow the directions. And here's another interesting thing. So this Revell kit that I'm doing is, there's two versions of it. There's a Revell Germany version, and then there's the American version of the standard square box. The Revell Germany, if you look at it, the color callouts are not completely different, but they have a lot more detail painting and in the instructions. I print them off from, I think, Scalemates, and I was just blown away. And obviously, like in the callouts, they want you to use their Revell paint, so they give you all these numbers and stuff like that. And so like the engine paint, they want you to mix like two different colors together to get the Chevrolet engine red. You know, it's like I said, it's pretty interesting to look at and just see how different the paint call out is on the same kit, essentially made by the same company, just in two different markets. So like that's something to look at. You can I mean, hell, you can get two different instruction sheets to tell you what color you want to do stuff. Like I said, I tend to just kind of do my own research and go off of that the best I can, especially with like racing cars, NASCARs, whatever. I'll just try to find as much reference pictures as I can find, and I'll just go from there. So, and like engine colors on race cars, I do them all in gunmetal. Pretty much. It's easy and it looks good, so why not? All right, I'm gonna put the engine in now, and like I said, I test fitted this before, but I am gonna try to clean off the mounting area here. The main part about all this is to have fun. You know, it's relaxing for me to do, so that's why I enjoy doing it. You know, I don't, with this, I'm kind of trying to do everything as well as I can, and like just taking more time with it and everything like that. I've never entered any kind of contest before with any of my models. Not that I want to win anything, but I just enjoy building. So, you know, I'd like to, you know, someday just to go to a contest, like take one of my things that I've built already and just go to a contest sometime. Not expecting to win anything, but, you know, mainly for, you know, the kind of people you can meet, you know, that kind of thing. Because it's nice getting together with people with a common interest, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, this engine fits in here perfect. and I can still get to the bottom for the fuel line. I'm going to set that up just in case. A lot of times I'll do this. I'll put the frame up when I glue the engine in, because I don't know if it's sitting on the ground, if a part of the oil pan or something is going to be sitting on the ground and lifting it up in the back and not sitting right. If you do it like this, it doesn't have any issues. It's going to sit flat like it's supposed to. So that's why I do that in that particular way. Let's put the console in. Didn't want to sit real good there, but that's okay. All right, so next thing I got to do is put in the seats. And I know which way these go. The female part of the buckle goes towards the inside. The male part of the buckle goes to the outside. So I know how all that fits. That's something to think about. If you decide to do, you know, your own buckles, obviously the one side's going to retract or have a retractor to it. So you make it short, and this technically is probably a little long, but it's on the interior. It's probably not going to be seen that much at all, but just kind of a little tip there. Just if they were both long, I think it would look weird if you made them both like sitting out on the seat. I don't think it would look right. And then I kind of need to see if I need to do any more detail painting on the door panel. I think I've got it about where it needs to be. All right, I'm gonna let that kind of chill for a while. Because the next step is to put the door panels on. And yeah, I'll show you here. This is the instruction sheet from Revell, Germany, that I printed out. I mean, if you look, it's the same steps, but like your call out. So like on this, showing how to paint the bolts, and then this little like PCV valve connector here. It's just showing you different, like this is paint all of this, I think, semi-gloss black, where this is showing to do flat black on the belts, gloss black on the pulleys, gloss black on the fan. So, you know, it's just something to think about, that there's definitely different options on painting stuff, even in the same company. Or like newer kits or older kits, you know, they're going to have different paint callouts too. There was a NASCAR kit one time that it was a Rusty Wallace kit, and it had stupid, just, I don't know what was going on. The roll bars were like, they had you paint it 3 different colors. It would, I mean, if you were following along the directions there, I mean, you had a goofy looking model, I can tell you that. But, oh, okay. So, something I will need to do is, I need to paint, I forgot to paint the back passenger chrome trim. And I guess the interior chrome trim on the armrests there. What is M? I don't even know what that is. Okay. Anyways. And according to the instructions, I'm halfway through the build. Yay. So, other than I gotta paint the body. So, I'll do that sometime. I could, while I'm gonna be painting this, and it'll take a little bit of time. Where did the piece go? There it is. I'll go ahead and glue the steering column in. I test fitted that earlier too. It's a tight fit, which is good. I do still need to put a decal on the battery that says Delco. Alright, that's in place. Once that's dry, I'll put the steering wheel on. What does that say? Paint details. So, oh, don't mess that up. Too much shit, not enough place to put it. Not enough room. All right. Well, if I can get a toothpick out here. There we go. And I always like to pull from the cap just because there's not as much there. So it's harder to make a mistake using too much paint doing it that way, because there's only just a little bit there anyway. So it's kind of something that's why I do it that way, is because if you dunk it in there, it's going to be more than likely too much paint. I'd rather have to dip my toothpick in there 5 times, 6 times to do a piece than try to do it once and it get everywhere. Alright, so let me get in the center here if I can. Okay, that turned out good. Okay. So that piece should be done. So that's side and do it on the other. I totally forgot about doing the rear seat trim over here. If you're doing this with like the toothpick, and you know, sometimes you're doing a lot of detail painting, so you'll run out of paint in the cap. Just, you know, put the cap back on, shake it up, and then have more paint in your cap. Alright, that's that. Kind of put that out of the way. Alright, is there anything else I can do? Okay, so all this going to go together. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking ahead there. I think that's going to be about where I'll leave it. Although, I'm going to do this. So this is just some like beading wire that I got at Michael's one time. And it came in like a roll of, or there's about 10 rolls or so in this big package, and it was missing one, so it was on clearance for like $1 or something. So I picked it up. I mean, it has some common colors like this silver here that I'm going to use. It's got black and red. It had the essential colors for that. So what I'm going to do with this is try to kind of straighten it out. It is kinked in one spot. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not, but basically what I'm trying to do is make fuel line run into the back to the gas tank. So what I'm going to do with this, and hopefully this is dry enough to do, it should be though, is get a little super glue. Like I said, I already drilled the hole, so just gotta get some glue in there. Anytime you're trying to put like attach metal to plastic, super glue is the way to go. Is there any even coming out? It's hard to see. You definitely want to glob too much in there, so there we go. Okay, it's rolling now. All right. So we just take our end. I know where to put the hole. There it is. So just gonna let it dry in there. It should set up fairly good. I'll have to look at the pictures on how the actual fuel line is ran, but I probably should have put it between the engine and that cross member. If I have to, I've got enough room to do it So I'll just have to do, there's reference pictures out there on how the fuel lines were actually routed and stuff like that. So that's not a big deal. So yeah, just let it kind of dry. Make sure it's set up good, which it is. So I'm gonna let that kind of cure for a while. But that is how that works. And I'm gonna run along the frame rail, I know. And then once I glue the interior tub on top, then I'll, you know, drill a hole back where the gas tank is, and I'll run it through up top there. So it'll turn out pretty good. So that's where I'm going to stop now. I will be back later sometime to show you some more. Y'all have a good one.